Let's start with checking components of the kit. Sticker at the back of the box will tell you what elements are included. Make sure the box contains safety tag, which ensures originality and completeness of the system. Now let's look inside the box to take out all the elements. In this case, these are Electronic Control Unit, or short ECU, Digitronic Mp48 Obd for cars with a 4-cylinder multi-point injection system engine. Injector Digitronic ABI Plus 4-cylinder. Reducer Digitronic TOMASETTO AT09 NORDIC. Dry gas filter Digitronic Blaster 1212. Wiring kit for Digitronic Mp48 Obd. Multivalve TOMASETTO AT02 with coil and safety valves. PT map sensor Digitronic AEB and the gas switch. Mounting kit for injector Digitronic AEB. Gas level sensor WPG4. Set of pipes and hoses, including Digitronic thermoplastic tube diameter 6 and 8 mm. Remember, under no circumstances proceed with the Autogas installation if the engine is faulty. Use the security cover to protect elements of the car body. Begin to prepare space for components of the Autogas system. Start from taking off the engine cover. Time to install the ECU. At the beginning, prepare the wiring kit to allocate it in the most safe and efficient way. Connect ECU to the wiring kit and install the ECU in prepared place. Choose a place out of water reach. Make sure the ECU is well attached. Next step is installation of the reducer. Allocate it in prepared earlier place, connect hoses, and make sure it is well attached. In order to install injector, drill 4 holes in the intake manifold using drill number 5. Holes should be made as close as possible to the petrol injectors and aim at center of the manifold, directing at the cylinder head. Use tap M6 in order to carve 4 threads in the drilled holes. Prepare 4 pieces of gas tubes to connect injector. Make sure all the tubes have the same length and are no longer than 20 cm. Prepare the injector rail. Install all 4 nozzles to the holes of the injector rail. Make sure to have right nozzle size for a given engine. Secure nozzles using attached clamps. Install the side plugs and remember to secure them with attached clamps. The injector rail is assembled and ready to be mounted. To minimize the vibrations, use attached silence block to mount the injector. Connect the wiring harness from ECU to the injector solenoids. Connect the gas supply hoses to the injector nozzles and secure them with clamps. Attach the injector to prepared earlier place and make sure it is well tightened. Install dry gas filter with pre-attached hoses and the map sensor. Insert fuse to the box. Put the engine cover back in place. Select appropriate place for the gas switch. Drag wires to the cabin for the gas switch. Drill a hole for the plug. Connect the plug with gas switch. Mount the plug and the button into place. Use glue if necessary. Drag OBD connection to the car cabin, connect it to the car OBD, and hide cables in secure place. At the back of the car, pull out the spare wheel from the trunk. This space will be used to allocate the gas tank. Put the gas tank with pre-attached multi-valve and connect it to the gas hoses. Install the filling point in the pre-drilled hole at selected place. Make sure all elements of gas connections are well tightened. Ensure that the filling point will enable safe and convenient attachment of the gas pistol. In order to download the latest version of Multipoint injection software, go to www.digitronicgas.com website. Once you will enter digitronicgas.com, at the top right corner, you will find available languages. In the bottom right corner, you will find a box with direct contact to Digitronic Autogas. On our homepage, you will also find many information, such as our products and a link to a very simple and use Autogas system configurator. You can simply navigate to any section of our website through the main menu. Go to Technical Support under the Resource Center section. You will always be informed if we provide any important updates of any software or any documents, so visit us frequently. We do our best to provide you with the precise information about what to do. If you still have some questions, contact us at support@digitronicgas.com. As you see, a new software has been released. So if you already have a Digitronic Autogas software installed on your computer, follow these 4 steps. If you don't have a Digitronic Autogas software installed on your computer, just ignore this section and go straight to the download section. Start with uninstalling the old version of the software. You can do that simply in the settings sections of your computer system by just clicking uninstall. When the old software is uninstalled, you can go to the second step, which is software installation. Navigate to the software download section underneath Manuals and Approvals. In the software download section, you will find the Multipoint area at the left-hand side. Beside the Multipoint software, you can find here very useful documents like the Digitronic Multipoint Software Manual. Click on the link with the software and download it to a desired location. In our case, it is the desktop. You can now close the window. Go to downloaded file and unpack it. Or click directly on Setup.exe to begin installation. Now just follow the steps of installation wizard. Type in username in the organization. Depending on the number of users on a computer, select appropriate option and organization name. Click Next and then Install. Setup is complete and you can now extract the driver. In order to unpack the driver, click on Extract and follow further steps, such as the license agreement. Installation of the software is now complete, and a new icon with a shortcut to the application appeared on your desktop. If you use wireless connection, you can now configure it. Go to the Network section and click on Scan in the Local Devices section. As you can see, the remote device has been found. Click on Connect selected remote device. Now that you are connected to the ECU, you need to close this window. Launch Digitronic Autogas software. Remember that in order to process the system calibration, you must have gas in your gas tank. The system is now looking for the electronic control unit. On the left-hand side, you can see the icon informing you that the software is using wireless connection to communicate with the ECU. Necessary data is now being loaded. It could take a while, so be patient. In the meantime, at the bottom left corner, you can see that the ECU is connected. You will always be informed if a new version of firmware is available. We recommend to save the configuration before proceeding, especially if the particular car model was already converted and have old firmware version. In order to do it, just type in the name of your file and press OK. Your file will now be saved. Be patient, it could take a while. Check the status of Enable Service. If the Enable Service option is on, you are not able to do the firmware update. Version of firmware is shown at the bottom of the window. If your firmware is version 5 or older, the whole system might not work at all. In this case, even most access will be permitted. You will be able to do the firmware update. Make sure the Enable Service function is switched off, so the ECU programming option is unlocked. Click ECU Programming. Load appropriate to particular ECU and up-to-date firmware. If you are not sure which firmware fit to ECU, please check the Digitronic ECU Firmware Update Description PDF. In the same section we downloaded the software from. In our case, the up-to-date firmware is the 2001 Mp48 00969. As you can see, the ECU is being reprogrammed. Remember, do not disconnect ECU during this process. It can damage it. Reprogramming can take a while, so be patient. Go to Vehicle Configuration. After reprogramming, it is very important to reset the ECU. We don't need to save any data, as we already did it. The ECU has been reset. In the changeover section, you can adjust many settings, such as fuel type and injectors. We deselect revolution signal type since in this case we want the ECU to get the RPM signal from injectors. You can see at the bottom of the window that the engine RPM is displayed and the engine operates on petrol. In this section, you are also able to set additional options like turbo, valvetronic, start and stop, or multi-air. We set the threshold of changeover to low levels of around 600 RPM, so the ECU will change to gas already on idle. We select start on gas with hot engine and adjust it to 60 degrees Celsius. Thanks to this option, the vehicle can be started on Autogas if the reducer is hot enough. As you can see, the reducer temperature is 38 degrees, so the vehicle would not start on Autogas. You can also adjust the temperature of reducer when you like to switch to Autogas. We leave it at 30 degrees Celsius. We adjust changeover from petrol-gas delay to 10 seconds. We recommend to reduce the emergency starts allowed to 5. Multiple starts on Autogas with cold engine can harm system components. We adjust the number of injections between cylinders changeover to 5 to make the changeover more smooth. We do not have to adjust any parameters on lambda section, since we connect to vehicle computer via OBD. We go to Sensors section. Select appropriate level sensor. In this case, it is WPG4. If in your country outside temperatures tend to be very low, you can select injectors heating. So far, the pressure sensor in all our Digitronic AEB ECUs is the AEB025, so we don't change that. As we use all 4K7 sensors, NTC temp, gas, and engine need to be selected accordingly. Note: a wrong sensor selection can cause major issues in the ECU, beside the wrong temperature reading. You can see that the reducer temperature readings have changed to a higher value and are now correct. We leave the gas electro valves opened in advance selected. Before a changeover, this option fills the pipe to reducer with gas so the changeover can be smooth. We leave parameters of low pressure time and low pressure value unchanged. Don't do any adjustments of the map yet, since the auto-calibration hasn't been done. You can do that later. To the gas-petrol section we will return after the auto-calibration. Go to Modify Carb section. You can see at the top right corner that connection type has not been found. From drop-down menu, select Auto. The system will automatically be looking for OBD connection. It could take a while, so be patient. Status on connection is shown at the bottom right corner. We will not use the adaptivity option yet, as the auto-calibration will be performed without this option. It is not recommended to enable a reset of errors option. It is always best to know if something is not okay with the vehicle. In Emissions section, you will find the Exit Cutoff Leaning option. However, we don't need it for this calibration. In Adjustments section, you can set percentage corrections on the gas injection time obtained according to the reducer and gas temperature. It is not recommended to change these settings. To Auto Calibration section, we will return after the auto calibration. We set all the sections correctly, and it's time to perform the first auto calibration. Go to Auto Calibration tab in the main screen. You can see that the system is connected via OBD, and we can see all the readings. Check if all the readings are correct. Perform adjustments if needed. Please note, the battery readings will appear after changing to gas. Click on Start Calibration. You can see at the top of the window that engine speed should be kept stable between 2200 and 2800 RPM. Use the accelerator pedal to reach and stay at the indicated level. If the pedal is electronical and can't hold the high RPM without a gear, you can change to idle calibration in the auto calibration section under Vehicle Configuration. Note: keep the accelerator pedal stable until the system will let you know about change. It could take a while, so be patient. You can see that calibrating ended, so you can release accelerator pedal. Update of the data is now in progress. You are now informed that the calibration ended correctly. Check the parameters of petrol injection time and pressure. Remember, the vehicle operates on petrol. Based on slow and fast trims coefficients, we will adapt the map during further calibration. Those parameters should oscillate on gas similarly to petrol. Check also temperatures of reducer and gas. They should be stable. It is recommended to go to Diagnosis tab to check if any errors have been detected. You can see that at the moment there is no errors. You can cut off gas injectors to check if the particular injector works properly. Remember that to do so, vehicle needs to operate on gas. You're also able to change dosage of gas if needed. Go to Display tab. Check if the injector's measurement is in correct zone to find out if you have suitable nozzles on injectors. This is just for orientation and not necessarily correct. Click on the Vehicle Configuration tab and go to the Auto-calibration section to run auto-calibration. Note, the readings need to be taken in correct bar zone, and the system is not collecting points if the engine speed is over 3000 RPM. If your engine is a turbo, these require usually a higher pressure zone. In this case, click the Turbo option in Changeover tab. The red and blue dashed lines mark the minimum and maximum field where dots will be collected. They can be adjusted depending on the engine. After enabling auto-calibration, first map collection must be performed on petrol. The system will collect one map while driving on petrol. Remember, the system will collect and adjust petrol map until you manually switch to gas. Auto-calibration must be enabled in order to start the calibration, and later need to stay selected to have effect on the setup. Switch on enabling auto-calibration. The petrol map is beginning to be collected. It is indicated by the dots appearing on the chart. It is now time for a ride and continue collecting points. Remember to drive the same route on petrol and on gas. While driving and collecting points, make sure you do it on different levels of engine's load, but not exceeding 3000 RPM. For most precise readings, make sure that all electric devices such as air condition or high beam are switched off, so engine is not extra loaded. Number of dots needed to be collected in particular section is indicated next to hash sign. It is always better to collect little bit more points, so the map will be even more precise. Collection of points take a while, so be patient. For purpose of this video, it will be accelerated. The petrol map has been collected, what is indicated by the line. We recommend to collect few more points to make sure that the map is as much precise as possible. We move the border line to allow system collection of points in higher map ranges. Observe that if you collected more points, the system will move the line a little bit, indicating more precise map reading. Remember, if RPM is over 3000, dots are not collected. The map for petrol is collected. It is now time to collect 3 cycles for gas map, what is indicated in the upper section of the screen. This number can be changed if needed. In our experience, 3 cycles are good enough. In order to do it, you can use physical switch button, or you can click on the icon at the bottom left corner of software screen. You can observe that first gas points began to appear on the chart. Remember that for most precise and effective readings, drive the same route which you've driven while collecting petrol map. Collecting petrol map in flat landscape and gas map in hills can make the calibration unprecise. Continue driving and collecting points the same way you did for petrol readings. It will take a while, so be patient. First of 3 maps for gas is collected. Note that first K coefficient changes are done. You can also see that the information about collecting a first reading is indicated at the top of the screen. Continue driving and collecting points for next 2 cycles. You can see at the top of the screen that system already collected second map. Observe that the position of green line was revised and is now even better correlated to the red one. It is now time to collect last, third map. The third gas map is now collected, and you can observe that the green gas line was revised again. It is now almost overlapping the red line, petrol one. Please note, this overlapping is depending on many factors and not obligatory. You can also see at the top of the screen that 3 out of 3 maps have been collected. Note the auto-calibration is not changing the actual map. It just calculates the K coefficient, so while the auto-calibration is selected, the map is multiplied by this value to reach optimal performance in gas mode. Go to Gas-Petrol section. We use the function of adding petrol for even better car performance, especially during the overtake, where valve opening times are very short and fuel consumption high. In order to do it, navigate to Petrol Addition option and click on it. You are able to change parameters of circumstances in which petrol will be added. Change the value of RPM for petrol addition from and to desired value if necessary. You can also adjust the petrol injection time for petrol addition and amount of injected petrol itself. In our case, it will be 10 for injection time and 2 for amount of petrol added. Remember to set the upper value of RPM for petrol addition. Go to Modify Carbon section. Setup of the map has been done by the system, and since it will be further adapted manually, selection of adaptivity is necessary. Click on the box to enable adaptivity. Observe that at the bottom of the screen, correction of gas measure appeared. Thanks to OBD, connection system is providing you information about the percentage, which map should be further corrected for best performance. This value can vary to even up to 20%. Level of between 1% and 5% indicates normal value and a good map setup. Note, for most economical calibration level of gas, the correction should achieve a level of as close to zero as possible. In order to do so, go to Map section. Select entire map and use arrows at the top of the screen to modify all the selected values by particular amount. Note, selected values has changed, in this case increased by 2. Increase all the values again by 2. Selected values changed again. Note, the value of correction gas is now oscillating around 2%. In this case, you can increase values of entire map again by 2. Selected values changed again. Observe that correction gas value could show negative figures. You can modify map values by adding or subtracting particular amounts. Do it until you will keep value of correction gas between -2 to +2, ideally at 0. Correction gas value for purpose of this configuration is now oscillating close to 0, what is more than satisfactory. Calibration of map is now completed. Note, the values of slow trim and fast trim are pretty much the same on petrol and on gas, which was resulted from map calibration. Go to Changeover section. Note, reducer was adapted to 0.95 bar pressure. Go to Gas-Petrol section. You're able to adjust petrol addition parameters for better vehicle performance. You can check parameters of calibration by verification of them at every section. At the end, go to Auto-Calibration section. Make sure that Enable Auto-Calibration option is on. If it is disabled or you will disable it, K coefficient won't be used and auto-calibration won't work. Go to Main menu and go to Diagnosis mode. You will be notified if any errors occurred. In this case, there is no errors. In this section, you're also able to test injectors. In order to do it, you can switch off particular gas injector and check whether petrol injector is in use. You will see that the vehicle engine is still working properly. You can repeat that action for all the gas injectors. We do recommend to do it. It won't take long and will allow you to quick diagnose of potential issues. If needed, you can adjust particular injector by clicking Adjustment button and modify injection time of particular gas injector. The calibration was automatically implemented to the ECU. We do, however, recommend to save all the configurations for future overviews and in other system installations. In order to save the configuration, we recommend to switch vehicle to operate on petrol, as this process interfere with the gas simulation and the engine might shake. You can do it by going to Vehicle Configuration mode or by using the Gas Switch button. Go to Save Configuration. Type in the file name. We recommend to use the one including make of a car and date of calibration. Click OK. Now your file including map is being saved from ECU to the laptop. It could take a while, so be patient. You can use a saved file for particular model of vehicle multiple times just by uploading it. No further configuration is necessary. It is particularly useful in case you intend to convert a fleet of similar vehicles with same conversion components. Congratulations! Your configuration is now completed. In the meantime, like our Facebook fan page at www.facebook.com/Digitronic Gas for information, news, and current promotions.